We have a guest on our show today.
Guest Pusscat. Pusscat, say meow. No, she doesn't care.
Meow.
Meow.
Meow, human.
Which cat is meow?
Should we get this going? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the one, the only, the amazing, well, it's alright, the Super Game and Gab podcast, episode number 3. Phil, how you doing?
Are you sure that was working? I just disconnected. I guess it doesn't matter. You were just ranting about Super Game and Gab podcast number 3.
I didn't even notice you disconnect.
I just came in at Super Game and Gab podcast number 3. Wigged out. Momentarial. Good. Him. How I English.
This is a great start to the third podcast. So,
yes.
Phil, how's it going?
Bad English is my first language, as you know.
Obviously.
With good English a close second. Yeah, Super Game and Gab, episode number 3. I'm excited.
I'm
in my new man cave. You alright?
Wait, man cave? What?
Yeah, I'm in my new man cave. Well, it's not new.
Cave?
Yeah.
Is it
It's
just a corner of the room?
No, it's an actual office with a closing door and a toilet.
Well,
All I need now is a fridge.
And a toilet. What?
No, I've got a toilet.
Are you just in your bathroom?
No. It's in this. Okay. So it's an office which has a toilet next to it.
Oh, not in the same room?
No, not in the same room. There's a stub partition. Come on, I'm not an animal. All I need now is a fridge to store my drinks,
beverages,
and cold finger foods, and I never have to leave.
That's true. You can stay there forever and record.
Sit here and game and gab.
Oh, I like how you tied that in.
I referenced the title of what we're doing.
That is the thing that we are doing.
Podcast number 3. I can't believe that we actually were organised enough to get this far, but
I know.
This is exciting.
Kind of nuts. It's been a while since we recorded the second one, actually, because we got overexcited and recorded it very quickly. But we do intend to release these roughly every other week.
Yeah, bi-monthly. I'd say bi-monthly.
Yeah, bi-monthly, okay. Perhaps if we...
Maybe every other week, but bi-monthly is better for me.
Ideally, we're going to have 2 out a month. And yeah, perhaps bi-weekly, or not bi-weekly. Not we're gonna have. No, Jesus, we don't have those. We don't have the resources or the time for that to do twice a week. Every other week, more like it. Yeah. Possibly, if we can be bothered.
That's the same thing.
Nope, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm rambling.
That's the same thing.
Nope, I said bi-weekly.
You said bi-monthly, and I said no. You said every other. It doesn't matter.
Let's move on.
Yeah, please move on.
Number 3. It's pretty cool. We've got some stuff to talk about. For the first time, we've actually got some kind of loose structure planned. We have an agenda. I have a piece of paper.
We are loose, but we are structured.
Loose and structured. That's how we like it. I've got a piece of paper on my desk in front of me which has the words agenda on it, and then a list of 5 things, 5 sections.
Whoa. Big man on our hands here.
Oh yeah. I got notes.
He's written stuff.
I got notes up in this podcast. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, what have you been up to? So you got a man cave now. I mean, this is news to me. I had a man cave.
I set up my man cave finally after 2 years of living in my not now new house, and it's pretty good. I've got everything I need in here. Bought myself some nice new speakers to finish it all off, and I started actually gaming on the PC for the first time in ages.
Good stuff. Well, that's
no longer confined to the living room and my phone.
Well, I'm sort of in a semi man cave myself. I mean, it's the spare room, but it's got all my stuff in it. It's got my PC and consoles and cabinets full of junk. And yeah, this is
sure,
pretty cool. Now here we are, sitting in our man caves.
Sure,
talking
we'll say
nonsense for no one.
We'll say that the spare room is the same thing. Sure, we'll say that.
Anyway, screw you.
That's fine, Terry. It's fine.
That's fine, is it? So just before we start recording this podcast, actually, I was just sort of flicking through gaming news and stuff, and I know we talked about Pokemon a lot last week. Not last week. It was almost in fact like 2 weeks ago now. I think we recorded last one. But yeah, so they've a new video has just been released about Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is coming in November.
I think that was today, wasn't it?
It's literally it's like I think possibly a couple hours ago or something, and I watched it about 5 minutes before we started recording.
But by the time our 3 listeners listen to this, it'll be
very old news. It'll be very old news. The game should have been out for 5 years. But yeah, it's pretty cool. People are reacting in strange ways to it. Basically, it seems to this new region, which is called Alola. Exactly. It's based on Hawaii. The islands of Hawaii. It's got several islands and stuff. It's one of the. It basically introduced a bunch of new features, and this video was focusing on it. It introduced a few new Pokemon with unique abilities and things. But for one thing, it's got some older Pokemon are getting new Alola forms. Alola forms. Alola forms. Alola forms.
Alola forms.
You're welcome. It just came to me.
Excellent.
And so there's that. Like for example, Vulpix and Ninetales now become ice types in Alola, which is kind of cool. I like the look of them, but the funniest one is Exeggutor, who just ends up looking like mostly the same, except he's got a massive neck. It's basically a big, massive palm tree with some faces at the top.
They should call him a long Neckiator. I apologise immediately.
Yeah, you should do. Get out this podcast, please. I'll do it on my own.
Okay.
So there's that. There seems to be the weird thing is, I assume there are still gyms in the game, but then looking back at it, I'm not sure they've ever actually said there are, because I don't know if you watched the whole video yet, but
I have not.
Basically, each island has I can't even remember what it was now. I've watched it like 10 minutes ago and I've already forgotten. Basically, each island has like a trial you have to go, a trial master you have to go through, and you can fight the island's Kahuna. I don't know, it's weird, and they've all got to like the trial you have to go and collect stuff. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know what I think. I don't know if I like it. I don't like change. I'm sure it'll be good. But that's interesting. So maybe they don't even have gyms in this game. In which case, this would be the biggest change in a Pokemon game since forever.
Complete Zelda shake-up, complete Pokemon shake-up. I don't know whether to be happy or extremely uncomfortable about this.
Living together, mass hysteria.
Good Ghostbusters reference. I like it.
Yeah.
Bill Murray.
So yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. I'm looking forward to those Pokemon games, and that is all I'm going to say about Pokemon for the rest of this podcast. I swear to God, if I say anything more about Pokemon, all of you listeners out there, all 3 of you, have permission to come and smack me in the face. You have to find me first. So good luck, as that guy in Taken says.
I am going to say one more thing about Pokemon.
Oh no!
I've always been deeply uncomfortable with change.
I'm well aware.
The first 151, I didn't lose interest, but I always beeline for the 151 in every game. I do try and find them.
It's because
I can't actually get out of 1997,
and you can't leave.
It's true.
It's a sad disease.
Anyway, Back to the Future. Now.
Not the film.
Well, the future, kind of, because by the time this comes out, it's the future of now, but okay. It doesn't matter.
I don't even know what you just said, I'll be honest.
It's fine. It's fine. So let's carry on with the non-Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, the non-Pokemon stuff.
What have we got?
We have got some stuff on the agenda, as I said. So first up, just thought we'd talk a little bit about what we've been up to. As you said, you've got your man cave and stuff. What else have you been up to, Phil? What have you been doing since we last recorded that isn't playing games?
That isn't playing games?
Yeah, I want to hear about games right now. Come on.
Not much.
Well, screw you. The reason I bring this up is because I just want to briefly mention that Robot Wars is back.
Oh my goodness!
I'm over the moon. There's been 2 episodes so far.
Too early for it. I realised it was on at 8 PM, but I was exhausted yesterday.
You are old.
I am old.
Like Simmons.
Simmons is old!
I've decided this podcast is just going to be full of movie references. Just.
Do Simmons! Sorry.
We're just going to shove movie references into this entire podcast because I've done about 6 so far. So yeah, Robot Wars. I absolutely love this show so much. When I was a kid, it was so much fun.
I'm not going to lie. People at work were talking about it, and we were googling the new bots.
they
I mean, I work in IT, so we're all geeks.
Well,
so it's
yeah,
to be expected.
Exactly. But it's really good. I'm really enjoying the new series. It's really fun. The battles have been pretty cool. If you have never watched Robot Wars, if you're perhaps not from the UK, if you're from the US or wherever else,
I'm pretty sure there was a Robot Wars in the US.
Was there?
Pretty sure there was.
But
I will have to verify that.
I don't know, but perhaps if you've never seen it, either way, please check it out because it's really
check out
good.
Robot Wars.
It's really good.
It's remote control or giant remote control entities that they call robots. I don't know why I said entities. It's a bizarre term. They're not really robots. They're non-sentient in any way. They're just remote controlled beast Leviathan things with armor on them and spinny discs and big hacky bits,
flippers and scoops and spikes and God knows what else.
I mean, flippers and scoops do not sound menacing in any way, but when you see them,
when you see Shockwave,
gosh darn it! When you see the old Chaos 2,
Chaos 2
flipping itself over.
My favourite was
chills.
I loved Hypnodisc.
I did have a soft spot.
Even though Hypnodisc had no Shremek, which for the uninitiated is self-righting mechanism.
Yep.
But yeah, I have a favourite robot from the new series, and that's Carbide because he's devastating. He's from the
Is that the one with the tiny spinny disc thing at the front?
They're like it's like the
speed.
Oh god, no. No, wait. Sorry, it does hum. Yeah. From the first episode, like green and black robot.
Yeah,
up, and then
that's what we picked up today.
It's got that like death hum. And
we got excited about death hum today.
Oh man, it's fantastic. And from the latest episode, my favourite was Thor because he was again just incredible. And it's just one guy built Thor. And was driving it. It's usually a team, like 2, 3, 4, 5 people, whatever. But it's just one guy on his own.
But you only ever need one guy to build Thor. Was he called Odin? He was called Odin, wasn't he? Please say he called himself Odin.
No, unfortunately not. He was Dave.
Come on,
Actually,
Dave.
I can't remember what his name was. Let's just call him Dave.
Come on, nameless guy.
Nameless Dave.
Why didn't you just call yourself Odin? It would have been so not sad.
I mean, he's already building a robot and fighting.
Yeah, part of most of Robot Wars, in fact, was about the smack talk. It was like wrestling, but with robots.
Yeah, there was.
Why didn't he come in a cape with a raven on his shoulder, declaring, "I am Odin"?
Jesus.
And an eye patch. Was he one-eyed?
Odin. Yeah.
Eye patch is a badass anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But there was one guy in the last episode who just really rubbed me the wrong way. He was incredibly arrogant. It was,
all right, Terry. Don't need to know about your personal life.
Wow, thanks. He was just really arrogant and cocky.
Oh, really?
He was trying to be a bit like funny and everything you could tell, but also I think he was just a knob.
Right.
But yeah, there you go. Robot Wars, it's back. Been really enjoying it. I wanted to bring it up because I'm so excited about it, and I'm sure other geeky people will enjoy it.
Pretty sure there was a game.
I think there were several games. There were like GBA games and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was a GBA game for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't really remember a whole lot about it, but I do remember.
Oh, we have to play that. But we have to play it just for nostalgia's sake.
Do we?
Steak?
I mean, for nostalgia's sake.
Stakes are high. Stakes of nostalgia.
That's what we should have. We should have a night where we just play retro games and have steak, and we can call it nostalgia steak. I don't know why. We'll do it.
It's a terrible idea.
You're terrible. Anyway, moving on from Robot Wars, as good as it is. So things have happened in the gaming industry again, as they have been known to happen.
The crazy thing about the games industry is stuff happens.
Stuff happens on a regular basis. Almost every day. Sometimes,
almost as if they're trying to make money from a mass consumer market.
I don't know. It sounds
bigger
like a
than the film industry. Do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't know. That just sounds like conspiracy nuts.
No, I can dig it.
Businesses don't work for profit. They work for the people.
No. Yeah, sure.
Let's
so
say they do.
Where are we going with this?
Well,
Oh, master of the list.
Master of the agenda.
Agenda.
The the NX, the Nintendo NX, or whatever you want to call it.
What? The NX? I always thought it was the Nux.
Have you actually been calling it the Nux?
In my head, yeah.
Really?
No,
Not sure
not really.
if serious.
I just wanted to be a bit edgy. Terrible.
NX, the Nux, as you might say. So there's been some rumours.
There have been some rumours.
What's going
on? Well, the form factor has all but been announced. So some of the larger publishing houses are throwing it out there that it's going to be. Well, we always knew that it was going to be some sort of hybrid of home console and portable console. From the rumor mill before, but now people are drawing up concepts. I believe there's been more patents filed. Basically, where the conclusion everyone seems to be coming to is that it's kind of a tablet with detachable controllers either side. So I could almost imagine the size of a Wii controller either side be detachable from it. You then dock that or stream via that to a TV, and have it as a home console with 2 controllers built in for 2-player games. I guess you can probably add more. Or you can then attach those controllers and play single player out on the train or in a field or wherever the hell you do your gaming.
Wherever the hell you do your gaming. I mean, this idea sounds pretty cool. I mean, it's always been suspected due to patents and things that this is going to be some kind of hybrid console, and because of the way Nintendo have spoken in the past or not spoken, it's a weird situation. They've announced the release date for something that nobody actually knows what it is,
which is classic. So classic Nintendo. Nintendo Revolution is going to change the way gaming is forever. Don't tell us anything about it. And it turns out to be the Nintendo Wii, which it did change. It changed the casual market. It changed the casual market massively, and it involved many other demographics.
It brought a hell of a lot of people into games that weren't into games before. But there's these rumors that have come out now. Obviously, none of this is actually confirmed. None of it is from Nintendo. They've not said a word. But there's a bunch of rumors come out that have sort of been verified by multiple sources now. That this NX is going to be some sort of it's going to be a handheld device primarily, but you can dock it and it will connect to your PC. Not PC. It will connect to your TV, so you can play it on the TV and you have detachable controllers, as you said, Phil. The rumors are
what's giving all this traction is that it's going to have the newest Tegra chip.
Well, this is the thing,
which is similar to the Nvidia Shield, isn't it?
Well, yeah. So the rumor said that it was going to be the Tegra X1, which it's like using Shield and stuff like that, and it's generally used to run Android OS. But now
they have staunchly denied that it's going to be running on Android, though. They've said it's going to be new Nintendo
it won't be
OS.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if it did. But there's now another rumor that's come out.
Hold that thought on the rumor. With this Tegra chip, I believe it is CPU and GPU combined. I don't know much about mobile architecture, but it's pretty much confirming our suspicions that it's going to be some sort of tablet-based console. So I, for one, am really looking forward to possibilities here, because I didn't really want another DS. I definitely didn't want another Wii U. As much as I think the Wii U is great, I basically use it the way that I've seen a lot of people use it quite hilariously on hilariously. That's terrible. Hilariously on the internet, just plugging it in anywhere, just at train stations, just finding a random plug point and just plugging it in and playing with the screen. It's almost as if people have wanted that before it was announced. They've wanted higher end gaming.
This is the thing. I wanted that before the Wii U came out. When it was announced, I was like, "Oh my god, you can take the gamepad on the go, and it'll be great. And you can just sort of."
That's what I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
If that's what the NX is, I'm in. I mean, I'm going to buy a Nintendo console anyway because you can find experiences there that you won't find elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
And I love my PS4 and my Xbox One and PC and all that, but the games are pretty much the same across all three of them, except for a couple of exclusives. Whereas Nintendo, it's going to be something different. It's going to be you're going to get Mario, you're going to get Zelda, and all the other franchises they have. They're strong first-party franchises.
Sometimes wildly different, and they quite boldly bring in some Japanese IPs that a lot of other people are afraid to publish on their consoles in the West as well. So you do get your JRPGs quite often, and they do sneakily release them, sporadically through the lifetime of the console. I mean, I don't play much of the JRPGs, but
Yeah,
I don't know where I was
definitely a
going
home for
with
them.
that, really.
Excellent.
I had a thought, and it left me.
It departed the station. Your train
Just
of thought.
like my family did once when we were on holiday, but I found them again, don't worry. They didn't look too happy. Anyway.
I feel like there's a story there, but perhaps another time.
It's a sad story.
So yeah, the next, I if these rumors are true, and as I said that they're looking more likely because they've been verified by multiple sources, and I'm excited for that sort of thing. The thought of being able to take the NX and grab Breath of the Wild, which I'm massively looking forward to, and just play that wherever.
I've always
fantastic.
wanted to play console, the grandeur of a console game, when I was on holiday or when I'm on the trip, because I don't generally play that many massively immersive experiences in games anyway. But when I do, I don't really care where I am, and I'd rather not have the distinction between mobile gaming and console gaming. So I'm really looking forward to this convergence of the two.
I think if this is true, this is a fantastic move from Nintendo, because their strongest area is the handheld market, and if they focus on that and make this is a handheld, you can take your games on it wherever you go, but you've also got console-like games on it, and they basically move away from the home console market and find their niche in the handheld market, and with like mobile apps like Pokemon Go and the upcoming Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem apps, then that's it. I think they're good. That's it. I think that's all they need. They don't have to worry about
they'll completely monopolize
with
that
anyone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about competing with anyone. It will just be that is what it is. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It just seems pretty cool.
Do you know what? As a Nintendo fan, and you know that I've always been a fanboy, pretty much. I have looked forward to, since sort of the days of the Game Boy, I've looked forward to the time where mums and dads refer to every games console as a Nintendo. Philip's playing with a Nintendo. He's always on his Nintendo. It's like Mum, it's a PlayStation. Yeah, whatever, it's a Nintendo. Everybody's having a good time.
Why is your mum talking like that?
I don't know. That's really creepy. She doesn't have...
And cigar in her mouth and like 2 thumbs out, like looking like the Fonz or something.
Just counting loads of cash.
Making it rain.
in a smoky back room. Mum, how did you make all that money? Shut up.
Mum, no, please.
This is getting slightly bizarre.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, NX, I'm looking forward to it. I want to know more. The rumours are as well that it's going to be revealed properly around September time, so we'll see. We've got a well, that's next month, actually. We're into August now. It's officially August as of today. Spoilers for when we're recording this. Hopefully we're going to release it in a couple of days.
Wow. Terry. This is not my Batman glass. Just another reference for you there.
Like you in the podcast.
Nice.
Oh dear, references. So yeah, NX, there it is. On the other hand, we have Sony and Microsoft doing their thing. We've touched on this briefly in the other podcast, but
gingerly touched.
Gingerly. I mean, that's the second time you said that. I'm
yes.
concerned. You like gingerly touching things. Should I be worried?
Nah, don't be worried.
Cool. Well, Neo and Scorpio. Moving on.
Neo and Scorpio, the Microsoft boxes.
Well, no, Neo is Sony.
No. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of Xbox One S and Scorpio.
Yeah. Neo is Sony and Scorpio is Microsoft, and these are the upgraded boxes. Not this isn't counting the slim. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony were like, "Hey, PS4 Slim, surprise!" And release one as well.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
I'm a bit confused now. Scorpio obviously is the new hardware, new architecture, coming next year or 2018?
Next year.
Next year. Okay, so that's something slightly different. They've alluded to
this is
a slightly different direction with the console.
This is the thing, because the S is also an upgrade in hardware, ever so slightly. Right. So even that's more powerful than the base unit. But
I just thought it was a smaller box.
No, it's smaller, but also more powerful. Somehow they made it more
VR
powerful.
Ready? We said
probably.
Thinking, that wasn't VR ready. Now that's the biggest thing. That's the hot
possibly.
topic now. Is VR, isn't it?
But I think the S brings it on. The S is actually on par with the PS4 now, if I'm not mistaken, because the Xbox One is slightly less powerful than the PS4. But they've got Scorpio coming out at the end of next year. Neo for Sony is rumoured to be the end of this year, so they'll have a full year.
We haven't heard anything about that. They've been very tight-lipped about
Exactly.
this.
I mean, there were rumours about it all the time. Did you know how it sort of initially got out? Because two game devs were talking at a games convention, and they got overheard.
Oh, very dear.
Yeah, so that's how it got leaked, and it's like, well, okay, that's probably
somebody
true.
Just passed a non-disclosure agreement.
So it's basically, and then some other stuff got leaked, and Sony was just like, okay, fine, yes, fine, we're working on this. All right, we'll give you more details later. Now, please stop asking.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate for them that you sort of in a way you think perhaps it forced Microsoft's hand not to develop this. Microsoft will probably had the idea to develop this at the same time, because that's just where gaming is going. You know, we can't have these console generations aren't having these massive leaps and bounds in stepping forward. You know, increases in power and things. It's not happening like the old days. It's
no, exactly. I mean, Iwata, the late Iwata-san said it best. That the era in which the horsepower of games consoles alone is important is over, and that was
absolutely.
I'm paraphrasing, but that was around about the time of the Wii, and that's when Nintendo decided to take it in another direction. It didn't work for everybody. As we said, it did bring in new markets, but they sort of called it early, and they probably called it a decade too early, to be honest. Exactly a decade too early. Actually, it was 2006, wasn't it? But now we're hearing from Sony and Microsoft that there are going to be sort of more incremental hardware updates. And to be honest, I'm a little bit worried that in regards to Sony and Microsoft, that it's going to be moving closer to just PC boxes, to just Steam boxes, but with their own
for Microsoft.
OS, to be honest,
for Microsoft, that's definitely a thing, because you've got the
that kind of makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean it does. Yeah, because
it's just Windows, Microsoft
10 anyway.
Yeah, why not just unify the brands?
Yeah, and they're even doing it with Windows itself. Like Windows 10, I think they've basically said this is the last sort of full operating system upgrade. From now on, it'll be incremental. You'll pay for certain increments. It won't be a complete overhaul.
Windows.
It will just be there won't be like a Windows 11. It will be Windows, and this is it. It will just move forward like this, sort of in a smartphone-esque way.
I think that's better for the market as well, for the consumer. I mean,
I agree.
I was looking at tablets the other day, and the many iterations of both types of tablet are just ridiculous, and you just don't know which one to buy now, because by the time you read some reviews, you ask around, you try some in stores, and you come to buy one, there's something new one announced. And they've all got a number. You figure the number out, or you figure the model out, and then they've got a mini version of that, or a new version of that, or an S version, or whatever. And I'm probably showing my age now, but I'm becoming increasingly confused as the years go by as to what's the newest tech.
I think that's just you, mate. I think you're just going senile in your late 20s.
In my late 20s, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, because you've always been old. Older.
Yeah, I've always been old. It's got nothing to do with my actual age. I was born old.
You're just born complaining like an old man.
Basically, I'm about 104 now. So.
But yeah, it's that that smartphone tablet approach, which is a bit it's a bit weird, because obviously with smartphones you get you get a contract, and you're essentially taking out a loan with the provider. And you're slowly over 12, 18, 24 months, whatever the contract length might be, you're paying off that phone. that phone loan, and
I'd quite like to see that in consoles.
that's what I'm saying. Are they going to introduce something like that? Because people aren't going to want to buy a brand new console for $300, $400, $500, whatever it might be, every
I'll tell you why.
year or two.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I don't think that will work is because with phones, the value add and the way that they make their money is through the data plans.
Well, exactly.
It does not cost them that much to give you 2 or 4 gig or 6 gig of data or however much the plans are. It does not cost them that much.
And the thing is, how do you
that's
work
what they're
out,
making the money.
How do you work out a contract on a console? Because you don't have that data plan. You don't have
Exactly.
minutes. You don't have calls. It's just, this is your console. You buy.
You've already
take it
got a
home,
contract
you
for
plug
your
it in.
internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the contract aspect of it isn't handled by the console provider at all. So
it's going to have to be a subscription to the service, isn't it? Realistically,
it seems like it's going to have to be like, yeah, you pay this much and then you get a console upgrade or something. I don't know, but either way, they're going to have to provide some kind of if they want this to succeed, they're going to have to provide some kind of upgrade path for existing consumers and not alienate existing consumers, which is, to be fair to them, is what they're doing right now. Is that they are desperately trying to avoid that. Sony has said all games will support will be playable on Neo and the base unit PS4, but the Neo will have a 4K output mode, and all games must have this for them to release on the console, which means that. Okay, great. Everyone can play the games on any PS4 console. If you got the newer one, the slightly more powerful one, you get it. It's slightly prettier. It's slightly faster. It's loads slightly faster than that. But there won't be features locked behind it or anything like that. But you got to think that perhaps after a couple of generations of this, or a couple iterations, they were like, okay, we're no longer supporting this one, this model from 4 years ago, 5 years ago. That's now done. Games will no longer play on that because the performance gap is too much. In the same way Apple do with iPads and iPhones, or not Apple as such, but the developers make a game and they're like, this will only run on iPad 3 or later, not 1 or 2. It's done. They're too weak.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a dangerous game though because it works in reverse as well. You get your shiny new phone, load your apps. You'll log in, load all your old apps, and you go to play one of your favourite old games back from 2 or 3 iterations ago, and it doesn't work. I've had a few games just crash on me because they just don't work with the new OS at all because the developer didn't have that in mind, and they've moved on since then, and guess what? They haven't updated it. They don't have the time or the funds to do so, especially the indie developers, the smaller guys. They're not maintaining these apps just simply because they can't, or they've moved on and they don't have the resource.
Exactly. So it's a tricky situation. I think it's the correct way to go about things. I think this is the most natural move. Absolutely. It's full of unknowns at the moment because this is turning the way the gaming industry's worked for decades, literally decades, on its head, and just trying something completely new. And I applaud them for doing it because this is the way things have got to go, really.
Because you used to have the release of a console, and then there was the slim version of that console with better cooling or something that nobody really cared about. And they would drop the price of the original one or stop making it. Yeah. And then that was it at the end of the console's life. And now you've got about 2 or 3 iterations of the console after the original one. Hardware fixes as well. Yeah, hardware fixes, and they're all out at the same time, and the price difference isn't very much. And you're thinking, well, why would I get the old one when I'm only paying 20 or 30 quid more for the newer one? And then there's another one announced. There's some special edition one that's got more memory or whatever. It's confusing for the consumer at best, and it's unfair at worst because, for example, shock horror, I don't have a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One. I am a dinosaur. I know this, but I've got a pretty new phone. I've got a fairly decent-ish PC now, and I'm still managing to access games. I've got my Wii on the shelf, but I've been waiting for the other two. I've been deciding which one to buy based on the games library, which obviously had to grow from day dot. Even the PlayStation 4 didn't start with that many decent games. And also the price. I want it to get sub £200. I don't really want to pay more than £200 for yet another console. I've got basically every console that there has been since 1994. I don't really want to buy another one unless it's worth it. And then suddenly, there's 2 new versions announced, or 3 new versions. There's 2 for the Xbox and 1 for the PlayStation, and then we've got NX around the corner as well. So as a consumer with limited disposable income, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, so it's an exciting and mildly scary time for gaming because we just don't really know like anything at the moment. We don't know.
Well, then
what's gonna
VR's
go or anything. And then we've got
VR's
VR,
looming.
yeah.
You know, for a decent VR PC, I was looking today, a decent one, as in middle of the range, middle of the road. You're looking at, including a Vive headset, you're looking at about $2,500.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
For a top end, at least $3,000.
Yeah,
I mean, who's
kind of
got that? Who's got that kind of money to just drop, or just because I just a bit of VR, quite fancy.
It's a bit of VR. Gonna track down 2 nice big ones.
Got barbecue next Sunday. Should we get Vive?
We're back to Vive
For the leads.
for the leads. Get your Vive out for the leads. Well, don't know what to go for me there. But yeah, it's
South London took over South London.
So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see where things go. I'm excited for gaming. I'm always excited for gaming. Let's be honest, but I'm particularly excited now because I just don't know what's around the corner. Like I thought I was pretty safe with my consoles, and it's going to be like 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it may be, until the next one. And then get the next round, and this one doesn't have backwards compatibility. Throw it against the wall, call up Microsoft, and call them goddamn bastards.
Do you think that the
Scorpio?
Do you think that the Scorpio could be a modularly upgradable, like hot swappable device, almost like a server rack where you can just drop in a new hard drive or whatever, maybe a GPU? Because I'm just thinking, if like logically, okay, Nintendo's got the handheld market down.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody's going to catch them nowadays, especially since they're now having a converged or potentially a converged home console, handheld console, which is going to be as powerful, if not more powerful, than the Nvidia Shield, which packs a punch for what it is. It'll be cheap. They're talking sub £200 even at launch, potentially. They said they're not going to make the same mistake as they did with the Wii U in terms of the pricing. PlayStation, I think Sony have got the core console gaming lead, I would say. I know Microsoft are definitely nipping at the heels now, but I think Sony became the old Sony again. With the glory days of the original PlayStation are back, I would say. They are the main man in gaming now, console gaming at least. And I just feel like Microsoft, they're moving their services more to like a convergence with Windows. And I just sort of feel like, well, what if they made their own, not a Steam machine, they move away from that. They made themselves like a full ATX size box, but everyone has exactly the same box, so it keeps production costs down. They all start off with exactly the same hardware. And much like they're saying with Sony PlayStation 4 Neo, that every game, for a certain period of time, of course, will be playable on the original box, but have very clear instructions and literally hot swappable. You just open up the side, and all the components are hot swappable in there.
It's an interesting approach. I mean, it raises some problems in that a lot of developers aren't massively keen on developing for PC, or the reason you get shoddy PC ports is because there are so many variations. Granted, if you had something, perhaps it's just called an Xbox, and it was modular, and you took out components and you put in other components, they would be specific components, so you'd know exactly what was available and how it all.
Oh yeah, I'm talking literally 3 graphics cards are available at any one time, 3 different variations of RAM,
so basically
3 solid state drives. Just basically you can have like a low end, a mid range, and a high end version. So you can get like the top end would be your 4K with all the anti-aliasing and bloom and all the rest of it that you can handle. The low end will only cost you a couple of £100 and will look good enough. But then the high end, you're talking more like £800, and it's the bee's knees.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes some sense. Like, so you basically got your base unit, say that comes with, or you can buy a box at whatever level you want, but then separately you say you bought the base unit, like actually I want a bit more power. I'm going to buy the upgraded graphics card module and swap that out. Then you get a bit more power at your console. But they all play the same things. You just get a bit more oomph.
At which point,
2,
3, maybe even 4 years down the line, at which point Microsoft say, okay, now there is a new
module, new graphics
Xbox
module.
Yeah, or not even that. They just say, look, here's all the components separately that are now available in the new wave, or whatever they want to call it, new iteration. And you can now buy the pre-built for the 3 specifications again, but they're renewed specifications.
Yeah, I think that could be interesting. Maybe they'll do something like that. That'd be an interesting approach. But
you heard it here first, guys. All 3 of you.
All 3 of you. 2 of them being us. Yeah, well, I'm interested to see where this goes.
Listen to it.
I'm not going to lie. I've listened to our podcast several times.
I do listen to it.
But yeah, so I think
not to get the views or anything. I listened to the raw footage. It's not called footage, is it? The raw audio track.
Sure, raw audio. Let's go with that.
Just, I have no friends.
Oh dear. But yeah, moving away from these now, onto the next subject. One I'm very excited about, as you know, Phil.
Yeah.
The third item on, or fourth item, or whatever it is, on my agenda. No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. All right.
Oh my, No Man's Sky. Boy, I'm looking forward to this.
I know you are. I am, actually.
Yeah.
Modern games don't do much for me, but this looks
something.
amazing.
So, I've been looking forward to this. If you're into games and you haven't heard of No Man's Sky, you're not into games. Because
get out.
It's been massively, massively hyped.
Get out! Terry. No, I mean you, Terry. Get out.
Oh, okay, I'll just leave.
Get out.
Psych. I'm talking about No Man's Sky. I can't leave.
No Man's Sky.
So yeah, you haven't been paying attention if you don't know No Man's Sky exists. For the people who are listening who aren't into games and don't know about it, basically, this game was revealed several years ago at E3, and people went wild for it. It's a space sim type game, so you've got your ship, and you can fly around to different planets. But the big thing about it is that there's no skybox. So normally, if you're in a game, you look up and you see the sky. That's the sort of it's not an actual sky. It's literally like it's just basically a texture of a sky.
It's a universe, isn't it, that they're created?
Yeah. The difference being with No Man's Sky, you take off the planet and you fly up, and then you fly off the planet. Like there's not a texture there. That is just like that's the sky and that's space. It's not a texture in the same respect. You just fly off wherever you want. So you fly from planet to planet. There's no loading or anything, and that there's loading when you warp around. I think if you warp along like a long distance, yeah, you can land on the planets. You can mine resources. You can find alien outposts and trading posts and all sorts of fauna and flora, and it's all randomly generated using the power of mathematics. Lots of formulas.
All that stuff that you thought was irrelevant when you were a kid. Algebra. The nth term is still irrelevant. Is still irrelevant to you because
it's
you're
still
rubbish.
Relevant.
These guys, good for their job.
So it's all randomly generated. Basically, they've got.
When I say you, I mean me as well. I'm rubbish at maths.
Yeah, you are. You suck.
Truly.
Probably. So it's all randomly generated. All these pieces that all sort of come together and make random animals, random plants, random planets. Basically, the environment
you might
is
say
random.
Procedurally generated.
Well, you cut out halfway through that, which was good.
I was epically saying procedurally generated. Is that the correct term?
Yes, procedurally. Okay, I can't say it properly.
Please proceed.
I will. So, I mean, from the moment this game was revealed, I was excited. I love space sims. I've been a massive sci-fi fan my whole life, and I love space sims. One of my favourites that I've ever played is Freelancer, which was great. I played it with a good friend of mine, and you'd get your ship and you'd fly around space. There was no landing on planets as such, in that you couldn't land and walk around. But you're playing online with people. You go around, you buy more ships, you fight space pirates and everything. And it was amazing. It's some of the best times I've had playing a game. And there's tons of other space sims out there, but they died off for a while. They're having a bit of a resurgence at the moment with things like Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous. There's a whole bunch out there. One of the games
Star Fox.
No.
Oh, sorry.
One of the games I've always wanted to play and put time into is EVE Online, which is an MMO, a space MMO.
Yes, actually, amazingly, I know EVE Online.
Have you played it?
No, but I watched a friend at university play it.
Well, man, you know,
pretty good.
It's a weird sort of game. It's pretty fun. I've played it several times, but I've never been able to get into it properly, largely because it takes.
Too involved for me.
Oh, it's very complicated. It's not
too many stats, man.
It's complex. There's a lot of there's a lot of layers. There's a lot of numbers based stuff. But also things.
A lot of layers and stuff. Sorry.
Well, thanks for that. But yeah, basically, it takes a lot of time to get involved, and I to be honest, I enjoy reading stories about EVE more than I've enjoyed playing it. Not that I've disliked playing it by any measure, but I just don't have the sort of time to sit down and sit and sink a lot of hours into it. But the stories that come out of it are epic. These massive space battles between huge clans, people like taking over certain systems, and then like if you go through this system, these people control it, and you have to pay a toll to them if you pass through this system. It just sounds amazing, and I wish I was part of it, but it just takes so much time to actually sort of be at that level. It's a shame. But No Man's Sky is also online, but not in the same way. The idea is that they want it to be a very rare thing for you to ever come across another player. There's something like 18 quintillion planets in the game. I mean, that's a number I cannot even possibly
Quintillion. A bibbity bollity trillion.
It sounds completely made up, doesn't it?
It's a squibbly fibbly brillion.
Exactly. That's exactly the amount.
It's a quintillion.
18 quintillion. I don't even know if I'm saying the right word.
18 squibbly bobbly fillions.
But,
sorry, I just love saying stuff like that.
Yeah, I got
Rolls
that.
off the tongue.
I got that. So I've got a friend who's going to get it as well on PS4. And it's not Phil because he doesn't know PS4. Just saying. But,
yeah, whatever.
But the chances of us actually being able to play together are very, very slim. Like we've made it a sort of partial goal to say, right, let's pick this planet, and we'll try and make our way to that, and we'll meet up there, and then we'll.
So these planets are literally, well, not literally, but figuratively, mathematically planet-sized.
It's all based on maths.
They're scaled to the size of actual planets.
That's the idea. They said that the planets are planet-sized, actual planet-sized. So it will take some time. You can get in your ship, fly right the way around the planet, and it can take some time. And you can fly off or fly into a planet from anywhere, and there'll be different things, different parts of the planet as well. And there's a lot of mechanics in play, but my biggest fear is that there's going to be a lack of content in the game, a lack of actual things to do rather than just sort of running around mining resources and stuff. So in the past couple days or so, some guy got an early copy of the game. If you're following this game, you'll have heard about this a lot.
He's a bad man.
Well,
he just couldn't wait, could he? I mean,
this is the thing, right? He spent a lot of money getting it early as well. There was someone was selling it on eBay for $1,300 a week before release. I don't know.
Where did they get it from?
Who knows?
It's got to be. Yeah, exactly. It's got to be someone who's connected to some sort of reseller or distributor or something.
It's got to be, isn't it? I mean, it's
really unfair on the developers, I think.
Yeah, well,
it's massively unfair on the developers.
Oh, I agree. However, this guy has respected their wishes. I'll get to that in a sec. But he bought this. It's crazy for me. I mean, it's coming out in a week. Even if I had disposable income, I'd probably just wait. I don't think I could justify paying $1,300 for a game that's coming out a week later. That's ridiculous. And maybe if it was a month, and I had the guy said he had disposable income, he's comfortable with it,
I mean,
and everything.
But says us who do not have that money.
Yeah,
maybe if we were millionaires, we might give it a crack.
But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like the reason he did it as well is because he knows there's no guides, there's no nothing, nobody else is playing. There's no cheats, there's no talking to his friends about stuff.
Having said that,
it's just him on his own.
Yeah, but having said that, can you not name things? Can you not just almost discover and name things?
You can. You can literally name things, and upload them to the
server. So basically, he's bought an exclusive pass, however, by whichever means. Okay, let's just not judge. The guy bought it. It's old news now. They've asked him not to speak about it. I've been reading various things, or they've at least been begging people if they also get early access to please not spoil it for everyone else, which you can understand. Like I say, they've spent years on this game. So, like you say, if he's respecting their wishes, then fair play to him. But I feel like he's just got an exclusive pass just to name everything.
Well, you say that, but I mean, there's 18 quintillion biblitillion planets. He ain't gonna get around them all.
Biblitillion. Yeah.
Even if he lived to be 200, he ain't gonna get around them all. So it's gonna be the tiniest drop in the ocean. He's had 4 years to wait for this game, and being that he spent this money on this game, he's probably its biggest fan. So he's had 4 years to develop a system using mathematics that could procedurally generate 18 quintillion bots to play it for him. So maybe he's named everything. Perhaps he has. Or maybe he's just a dude that really, really wants to play the game. That's more likely, I think.
Yeah, that's more likely.
He released some videos. He started doing some videos of the early parts of the game. But then he stopped. This is what I'm saying.
So the devs basically said
they didn't say this to him. They didn't say this to him. Yeah, as such, Sean Murray, the director or head of Hello Games, the developers, basically tweeted out saying, "Please, guys, try not to spoil yourself. Like, it's disappointing this has happened." And he basically just sounded sad about it, not angry, just sad.
Yeah.
He's like,
"No, I did say
we've been trying to keep this stuff so close to our chest. We're trying to keep it quiet so people can enjoy it and experience it when it comes out. So please try and resist and don't look at spoilers." And the guy, fair play to him. He said, "All right, I'm going to respect their wishes. I don't want to spoil things for people too much. I'll give some vague hints towards some like gameplay mechanics and things like that. But I'm not going to put any more videos up." Enter second guy, who has the game early. This is the best thing. This guy bought the game from Walmart for $60.
What?
Walmart messed up.
Harry, you're killing me.
They messed up, sold the game early. Dude bought it for $60 like 2 days after the other guy just spent over $1,000 on it, which is nuts. Now this is where it gets interesting, right? So the guy made videos. He's made various.
You had me at Hello Games.
that was a while ago.
Sorry,
you've been with me a while. That means that's good. I'm glad. So the guy made some videos and made some complaints, shall we say, about various mechanics in the game and some bugs and glitches, and saying there's a fair few of them. Now, for one thing, you got to wonder, okay, this guy's a massive fan. Clearly, he's super hyped for it. And he's also spent over $1,000. So perhaps his thoughts on the game are a little bit skewed, because he's just realised, I've spent over $1,000 on this game. It comes out in a week. Someone else just spent $60. These may be legitimate complaints, but it's hard to tell because this other guy's come along, and people are like, "Oh wow, this is nothing like what the other guy was showing. This seems much better." Now, whether that's just due to the randomness of the game, the very nature of it,
18 quintillion possibilities.
18 quintillion possibilities.
Does that mean that some people can have amazing dinosaurs and stuff?
Wait, what just happened? You cut out.
You
said, does that mean some people can have...
And you'll never know.
Amazing dinosaurs and stuff.
Yeah, that's the summary. No, I was saying, does that mean that some people are going to have dire, bland experiences while others are going to see awesome dinosaurs and flora and spaceships and all the rest of it.
This is the thing, right? So the first guy, there's been a big
Surely
thing.
there's an algorithm that runs that gives you content at a certain frequency.
No. It's completely random. So the first guy, he was like there was a thing in the run to the game and everything where the developers have said you may come across planets with no life on them. They're just completely barren, like a massive, just frozen ice world that's got nothing on it. Nothing's alive. The first guy didn't find any of that. He said, no, I everything I came across had life. Some had not so much life, but everything had life. And the developers said something like 90% of the planets you visit will have nothing on, or basically nothing on them, except some resources. They won't have like animal life and stuff. And so the guy was like, well, this must be a lie then, because everything I've come across has had life. Within 30 minutes of playing, now bear in mind, I haven't read a whole lot about this because I don't want to spoil myself too much, but apparently within 30 minutes of playing, the second guy found a planet with nothing on it, like no life at all. It was barren, from what I understand. And it's like, so it's the first guy's statements are a little bit, as I say, they're a little bit skewed because perhaps that experience he had was a weird one and very different from what other people are having. But not only that, there's speculation that the copy he's got is actually some kind of preview, demo, press version or something. For several reasons. One, because of the weirdness that's happening with the game, all the bugs, the very sort of weird bugs. Like when he upgrades his gun, it makes it worse. Weirdly, it upgrades it backwards. It doesn't make any sense. And
so downgrades it.
And it's as if it starts off with the best possible gun, and then he upgrades and it takes it down a level. So it downgrades it. It's weird. It's like working in reverse. He's also apparently not come across ship upgrades that upgrade like inventory space and things like this, which are supposed to be in there, and a couple other things. And also there was a leaflet inside the case of the game that says coming 21st of July or whatever the original release date was, before it got delayed. And that's weird. Why would there be a leaflet in the final release version like that saying when it's coming out? I mean, who cares? You've got it. It's already out. Why would you have a thing saying, hey, it's coming out this date? Like, I know. I've just been and bought it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
This is true.
So there's all this sort of speculation. People are saying this is weird. And just because of how different things have been compared to the second guy. Again, I don't know. Perhaps this is to do with the random nature of this game. And people will have these vastly different experiences. It also seems a little bit weird that this press version would be different, because he said the economy of the game gets messed up because you find these things in the game that are worth a lot of money, basically, without going into too much detail, and it completely ruins the economy because it makes like fuel and everything cheap, and you can get to the center of the galaxy, which is the ultimate goal, with relatively little relatively little difficulty. So that's weird.
Yeah, one guy reached it already, didn't he?
He has. Yeah, this same guy has reached the center, but he's not saying what's there. And I think he's left some hints, and some people may have worked it out, but I haven't looked at that because I don't want to know. I want to get there for myself. But people are saying, oh well, perhaps the value of these things is increased intentionally. Because they're so common and it's sort of been artificially increased to give the press who are reviewing it a quicker way to get to the center and see what's there and base their review around the whole experience. And that seems weird to me. I don't know why they'd give a different version of the game to press, because then the reviews won't match up with the release version, which is strange. It's like giving someone Dark Souls or something to review and saying your character takes 10 times less damage so you can get through the game more. I mean, why would you do that? That's just that's not a fair review of the game. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I don't subscribe to that argument at all. But as I say, perhaps he's got this preview copy anyway. Perhaps it is that, and the second guy is the full. I mean, the second guy, without a doubt, that's the final version because he just bought it from Walmart off the shelf.
Well, we'll just have to see.
It's a week away. We will find out.
It's a week away. What night? The 9th, is it?
The 10th, next Wednesday. Yeah, it's just over a week away. I've got it pre-ordered, and I'm massively excited. And I expect when we record our next podcast, I will be talking about it even more than I have today.
Or we won't be recording it because you'll be playing it too much.
This is true. Or perhaps I'll have died because I've been playing it too much that I will have forgotten to eat, or drink, or sleep, or poop.
I might get it for PC and play it separately to you filthy console peasants.
Well, fine.
So
you're entitled to this. I mean, first you got to sort out the PC. How's that going, by the way?
Probably have a PC that works, but it's fine. Anyway.
But No Man's Sky, it's coming out just over a week. Probably my most anticipated game of the year. In quite some time, in fact.
Good.
And I am really looking forward to it.
I applied for a job at Hello Games.
Yeah,
a few years ago now.
If you're listening, Sean Murray, if you're listening, Phil's views are not my own. I'd just like to say this: if you want to talk to me and make me be your friend, I'm willing.
Yeah.
I will abandon this guy.
Additionally, if you would now like to hire me, that's cool. That's fine. No, they were really, really kind to me actually. In a time I was trying desperately to get a job in the industry. I'd only had a 6-month contract ever, and that all went south, and I struggled to find a job after that. I had to sort of duck out of the industry for reasons I'm not going to bore everyone else with. But before I did, I tried to apply for. It's not drugs. Pugs, not drugs, guys. For a little while, I was just sort of emailing anyone I could get an address for, really. But I came across Hello Games, and I really liked their website. I really liked the idea of Joe Danger, and I applied to work there. And they were really kind. They gave me some great feedback. And it was really refreshing, actually. You could tell they were just a happy little team of people who genuinely love making games. And the way they spoke about games, the way they understood that basically I wasn't necessarily just applying to them, and I was just trying to get a job in the industry to get experience. It wasn't just that, though. I was drawn to them because they were making these casual kind of games, Joe Danger, which are a bit like if any of you have played Trials HD, mixed with the very old Nintendo IP Excitebike. And there's touch versions of the games, there's a Vita version, console versions, there's all sorts. And if you even look at the HelloGames.org website now, it completely belies the amazing sprawling Leviathan of a fantasy universe that they've created in No Man's Sky. I haven't read much about it. I certainly haven't read as much as you have. But obviously, the top story on their sort of blog is No Man's Sky, which is pinned to the top, and the rest of them are just about the different iterations of Joe Danger. And it's just such a stark contrast in design, genre of game, even platforms. A lot of it's mobile now. And suddenly, like, well, bam, they make this No Man's Sky, which is kind of the Star Wars rivaling universe that everyone's to dive into. And I just thought it was an incredible thing.
It's this.
Got a feeling they'll change their website now. As lovely as it is, no, I do like the old Joe Danger games, but wow, just from that to No Man's Sky, boom, you can tell. And this is another thing. What I'm saying is, they're definitely a studio that are just happy to make games. They made a cool little game to get them some money. No, I won't belittle it. It's not a little game. It's a major title. They made this cool game to, I guess, grow some funds, and then they've made their epic. It's their.
It does feel like this is their proper, like, this is Sean Murray's passion project. I mean, you see him on he's been on like talk shows and things in the US and everywhere discussing this game. Places where you wouldn't normally get people talking about this sort of game, made by this small little studio of it's only a small team
in the UK,
in the UK in Guildford, not far from where we are, and he
just dropping that in there, guys. We're local, both of us.
Yeah? We can be
We're
your
local
friends.
enough to come and work for you, do your social media.
We can come and just have a drink near you.
Make you some tea.
We'll just stand near you and look at you.
Sweep your floors, clean your toilets. Harry will clean the toilets. I'll sweep the floors.
But it seems like a real passion project. You see Sean Murray talking on
definitely.
these shows, and he is into it. He is passionate. This seems to be their thing. This is what they've wanted to make for a long time. You can tell that.
I kind of wish that I was half as excited about anything as Sean Murray is about this game.
Yeah. But yeah, I really, really hope it's good. I really hope it goes well for them. My concern, as I said, apart from I'm concerned about the actual not quality of the content, but the quantity of the content. I'm concerned that might be low, but also
the quintiddly biddly fiddly billion contents.
This is made by a small team. It's essentially an indie game.
Yeah,
but
it's an indie game.
Being published by Sony and being pushed as this, it's being published by Sony, but perhaps not because it's on PC as well. But they are certainly on PS4. They are pushing it as this AAA game, as this massive thing. It's just like it's like the second coming of gaming Jesus. So it's,
what was the first coming of gaming Jesus?
You don't want to know. It was messy.
Whoa, dude.
I'm sorry. So yeah,
that sounds like gaming Jesus.
Yeah, I hope that the way Sony have been pushing this game, I hope that doesn't work against Hello Games. It's hyped up so much that people are guaranteed to be disappointed in some form or another. And
people are going to find problems with anything.
Oh yeah, but something of this hype level, people are going to lose their minds when it's not exactly the thing they've always wanted. And I'm going to lose my mind, and several people are going to die.
In the game, not in real life.
In real life. I mean, not really. Don't arrest me.
In the real life of No Man's Sky.
That one, yeah.
Which is going to be your new life.
That is going to be my life from next week.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Interestingly, I'm just looking on the old store.steampowered.com, and 12th of August it says for No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah, PC is 12th. Yeah, PS4 is the 10th. At least that's what my pre-order says. So I hope it arrives then, because I'll be disappointed if it's 2 days after that, because I can't wait another 2 days. That will literally make me kill everyone.
I do like how one of the images is just created rendition of an X-wing, but just not quite an X-wing, sitting on the grass.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's
cool. You have to have your homages. You have to.
Yeah,
and
but No Man's Sky, it's coming next week, and we're all looking forward to it. So let's hope it's good.
Dinosaurs, spaceships, flying around, quintilly billy Flibian.
Philly Willy. Oh, I just said Willy on a podcast. So, on to the next thing. So this is a feature that went incredibly well last time. We're bringing it back for another round.
Bringing it back.
To see how it goes. Let's see what happens. Let me get my stopwatch ready. It's time for the 30-second...
I'm a bit nervous. It's my turn, isn't it?
It's your turn. It's time for the 30-second review.
Post-hype.
Let me get my stopwatch ready. Should have done this.
What we're reviewing, man?
What?
What we're reviewing.
Right. Phil.
Yeah.
Your 30-second post-hype review, hopefully it's more successful than mine last time, is Left 4 Dead.
Left 4 Dead, one of my favourite games. Okay, Left 4 Dead is a...
Wait, whoa.
Whoa. Sorry.
Whoa.
Yeah, you have to tell me to say go.
Calm yourself.
You have to tell me to say go?
Okay.
You have to tell me to go.
3.
Working out, man.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Left 4 Dead is a 4-player action first-person shooter game with art direction that is loosely based on 80s zombie films. The mechanics are pretty tight. It's almost like a sport. You have to make it from A to B. Whilst shooting up loads of zombies, you have a limited amount of weapons that you can pick up and upgrade as you go along. You can revive each other. You can pick up med packs. Basically, you just shoot your way to the end. And then it's usually an ending that's pretty... Okay. Did I do okay?
I mean, I'll be honest. I was sort of intrigued with the timer and wasn't really listening.
Oh man!
It was it sounded better than mine last time. So yeah, I'll have to re-listen to your 30-second review.
I said stuff, things. So
you said more things than I said when I was doing Pokemon
bang
stuff. Bangs. So Left 4 Dead. Let's briefly talk about it now. After your
now that I'm not under pressure. Yeah.
No, you're not under pressure.
Help!
So I looked earlier today and I've got, what was it, 218 hours on Left 4 Dead 2 and like 90 odd on Left 4 Dead 1. I haven't played in a long time now, but Christ, I played that a lot. So did you, Phil? We played it together.
We did.
In a previous job,
we played it together at work.
We played it, yeah, in our previous
with the blessing of the boss.
Yeah, he used to play with us. It was like a lunchtime thing. We were a small team, small company. There was only like 4, 5, 6 of us. It fluctuated, but at lunchtimes we'd play games, and Left 4 Dead was often the game of choice. Left 4 Dead 2 more so, because
I racked up most of my hours on that game at that job.
I racked up pretty much all of them there as well myself.
Yeah, I mean you've been playing it for a long time before I. But
yeah.
I've racked up 25. I'm just checking. I racked up 25 hours. For me, that is a massive amount of hours. Being that I only usually touch on sort of 1 or 2 hours on most games, and I've got a massively low attention span, and I just get really bored. But yeah, 25 hours.
That's that puts my 218 to shame.
I freaked out for a second, as I said earlier to you. I was writing a ghost story earlier. Noise has been freaking me out all night. I freaked myself out with my own ghost story. That's how much of a wimp I am. That's why I can't do these YouTube videos playing horror games with a camera on me.
Well, we'll see about that.
It will get messy. Like literally messy. I will poo. so I'm not going to go into my personal life. Somebody put the key in the door and I shat. So I just have to go do the chain to let them in. I put the chain on. I was that scared earlier. Anyway.
Oh dear. But yeah, Left 4 Dead. So the
heart is beating so fast. Sorry.
the best moment, one of the best moments in Left 4 Dead was so there was myself, Phil, and our boss. So I think there was only the 3 of us playing. And we're doing like the co-op mode. We're going around. You're fighting the zombies. You're trying to get to the end. And there's one bit where you're inside a building, and then you have to drop down, and then you can't get back up once you've dropped down. So you sort of carry on. Our boss had dropped down, and then I was still up there with Phil shooting some zombies. There were about 6, 7, 8 zombies maybe, and they were sort of surrounding Phil a bit, and he panicked and walked backwards out of an open window. But he didn't walk down to the bit where you can't get back. He walked. The window led to an earlier part of the level. So he fell out there, panicked, thought he was on his own and was stuck. And just started going, "I'm stuck! Please, someone come! Help!" Shouts out loud, really loudly. Meanwhile,
in the office, which is a shared
in the office.
Shared with other companies.
Shouts out loud.
Afternoon.
Our boss was actually the one who was really in trouble because he had about 20, 30 zombies surrounding him on his own. Neither of us there because I've jumped out the window thinking Phil was in trouble. There was like one zombie around him.
He's just chilling, just dealing with it.
Just chilling. And I'm like, oh for God's sake.
I actually got chucked out of the room by a what do you call it? The one that charges at you.
The charger.
Oh, it's the charger. Yeah, charger. So the charger. Got me. He was French.
What's that one called that charges you out of the room? Oh, the charger.
I had this exact same thing happen to me when I said, "What was the movie called with Arnie in it, where he's like a commando?" And someone was like, "Commando." And it was.
What's that one where he is like he's a hero, like an action hero, and he's the last one?
And he's the last one. Terminator.
That's the one. Yeah. No, it's Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten. That's right. Correct.
That's what a film. Oh, these are your lunches. Continuing with the movie references.
Why are you eating them? Stop it! Anyway,
Left 4 Dead. We had great fun playing that game.
We had great fun. Yeah, it was good.
I'd recommend it. Great co-op game. Not so
great.
Seriously,
if you haven't played it, it is gaming gold. It's
one of the
best games in terms of multiplayer games, especially first-person shooters. In fact, it's the best first-person shooter I've played personally. It's the best 4-player game that I think I've played on PC, and it's the best zombie-themed game I've ever played as well. And that includes Resident Evil, because I'm too scared to play Resident Evil.
These are bold claims. I mean, best FPS I think is going a bit far, but yours is crazy, so you know.
I don't like FPSs in general. I get too scared of stuff flying at my face.
That happens regularly with balls. Anyway.
Pokeballs?
Nope. Testicles. So, that was the 30-second review and Left 4 Dead and testicle chat. Now, on to the final item on my agenda. What we've been playing. What have you been playing, Phil? Now, we both have actually been playing a couple of different games this week, and we said this to each other earlier, but we've been keeping them secret. So this will be interesting. Well, not interesting. It's probably the most boring part for you guys.
There's a great little title that I'm playing called Cornerstone: The Song of Tyrim, and it's an indie game. And I will get the studio who made it for you presently. But basically, it's a very colourful, sort of cartoony, cel-shaded affair that's very much like, if you've played it, Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. It borrows, for me anyway, I'm not sure if they intended it, but it does borrow a lot from that title, perhaps inadvertently, as I say. But it's about a little Viking chap called Tyrim. And he's not like your regular Vikings who wants to go a Viking, which is where the phrase comes from, which means to go exploring, basically. It doesn't necessarily mean raping and pillaging and tearing down villages, as a lot of people mistakenly think.
I'm out.
It doesn't.
I'm out.
And it's about this little chap who's a altogether more sensitive little fellow. He's got a bit of an acid wit on him, but enjoys the slower, finer things in life, like crafting. So it's got some crafting mechanics, which you learn from the tutorial right at the beginning. You start crafting straight away. It's got some platforming mechanics. It's got some battle mechanics. It's got a cool little battle tutorial. The dialogue's pretty funny. I say dialogue, it's all written text. But that's all pretty funny. A lot's going on, though. So Steam is mistakenly telling me that I've played 84 minutes. I haven't. I've only actually played a good sort of 40, 50 minutes of it. But I was having problems with my computer, and it was ridiculous. The frame rate was horrible, so I gave up for a while. Sorted it now, come back, and it's a great little title. I think it's got a lot more, and it's got a lot more to offer. As I say, it's early days yet. There are a few niggly little bits with the physics, because a lot of it's physics based as well. So I feel that a lot of the puzzles in the future are going to be physics based, because already I've done one or two that are physics based to get me out of the starter area, for example. There's an ongoing dialogue with Tyrim and his best friend. His best friend is classically the exact opposite of him. Big strong boy who wants to go a Viking with his uncles and his dad. And currently, the story goes that we're waiting for the men to come back. So I guess that Tyrim is going on an adventure, which I will be going with him and thoroughly enjoying it, I feel. So I'll give you a bit of an update on that in a few weeks, actually, because I think it's going to be a long one.
Well, that sounds pretty fun. I might have to check that out. That does sound
pretty good.
Sounds pretty interesting. And
I'll get the studio for you. But what have you been playing recently?
Well, I've a bit of a backstory here. I've been watching. I don't know if you've seen this show, Phil. I've been watching Black Sails. It's on Amazon.
No, I haven't seen it. Actually.
It's basically a pirate show, and that's sort of, to put it lightly. It's a sort of prequel to Treasure Island. So it's got characters from Treasure Island and things, but it's also got fictionalized versions of real pirates in it, like Charles Vane and Jack Rackham and Ben Hornigold, among others.
Okay.
And so it centers around.
I knew exactly none of those people, but go on.
I'm fairly big into pirates, so it's sort of all matches up in my head. But it's a really, really enjoyable show.
Do you know why you're big into pirates?
Oh.
Because you are. Sorry.
You can't see, but I'm face palming. Wow, what a pun. But yeah, I've been watching that with my girlfriend and thoroughly enjoying it. And I
When you say girlfriend, Terry, do you mean the pillow you cry on?
it's got a face on it. So I have been back to it's not a new game. I've played it before, in fact, but I've been back and revisited Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which is a thoroughly enjoyable game, and you are a pirate in that game. And you
I mentioned that earlier.
Earlier, when?
You salty dog! You kept that quiet.
Mentioned what? When? What? Black Flag.
Yeah, Black Flag. I was saying it's pretty much the only Assassin's Creed game that I could get on.
Oh, you did, yes, when we were talking about earlier. Yeah.
It's, as miserable as I am, I do like the Pirates of the Caribbean game that never was.
Yeah, actually, so there was going to be Disney had in the planning stages a Pirates of the Caribbean game, which is going to have a sort of Fable-esque type of mechanic to it, in that you could be not quite good or evil, but you'd be infamous, or you'd be a legendary pirate, or you'd be a dread pirate. So it's essentially a good pirate or a bad pirate. So you'd be feared or just known, and depending on what you did, depending on whether you pillaged, whether you if you boarded a ship, did you leave the crew alive, that sort of thing. And it sounded really fun, and then unfortunately it got cancelled and never saw the light of day. So that's a shame. But I love pirates, and there's not a whole lot of pirate entertainment out there. There's obviously
there's plenty of pirate entertainment, just not again
just not the pirates I'm looking for. But yeah, the Black Flag's great. Really fun game. But at the same time, I've also been playing an Assassin's Creed game I haven't actually played through before. Is Assassin's Creed Rogue, which is not one of the mainline games. It's a sort of spin-off that came out at the same time as the fifth game, which was Assassin's Creed Unity. That one took place during the French Revolution, and weirdly, that was the main game that was for the next gen console, so PS4 and Xbox One. Rogue came out for 360 and PS3, and was the last gen game that didn't get as much attention and everything from Ubisoft. They didn't push it as much, and was actually far better received than Unity. But Rogue is basically, it's almost in a way a reskinned Black Flag.
Really?
Because you are you're sailing around on a ship and everything. The difference with this, you know how in Black Flag it takes like an hour or something to get until you get in your ship. It takes like 10, 15, about 10 minutes probably to get on your ship in Rogue, and that's it. Then you're on the ship.
I think there is a tutorial part where you get on the ship and you steer it for a fleeting moment in Black Flag about 5 minutes in.
Yeah, but you don't actually get your ship properly for a while in. But
what you're saying is you don't actually get your ship together.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Oh God, you are full of the puns tonight.
I am.
Wow,
that's tonight.
Pretty punny. So yeah, I'm playing some of that as well because I haven't played that one. When I say it's a reskin Black Flag, I mean it uses a lot of the same assets and stuff and the same ideas, but it's refined the mechanics. You're actually a lot of the places you're sailing around in are icy areas, so you've got to avoid like icebergs and things like this. And the character you're playing starts off as an assassin, then starts to dislike the way they do things and defects to the Templars, who are the opposition to the assassin faction in the game.
Sounds ominous.
So you actually join them. So it sort of turns it on its head, and as a Templar, like as an assassin in the other games, you're hunting down the Templars and you jump down from rooftops and kill them and stuff. As Shay, this assassin turned Templar, you can
jump up from the ground onto roofs.
You do the reverse. You can like detect assassins around you and stuff, and your job is to basically protect other Templars and things like this. So it's different in that respect, and I'm looking forward to playing some more of it. But that's generally what I've been playing. As always, I've also been playing more World of Warcraft because I can't tear myself away. Please help me, son, help.
It's been a good few years now.
But that's that.
You should probably throw your WoW cap in.
Nope, can't do it.
No.
Nope. So I think we've this has been a bit of a longer one than previously.
It has.
Maybe we should wrap this up now. It's been fun. We've had some good discussion. Wow.
We have.
It's been good.
I'm really just trying to find the studio that made Song of Time. I think it's Ascension Studios. There we go.
There we go. Job done.
So
cool.
well done, you guys.
So thank you very much for listening. It's been fun. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be bringing out number 4 soon at some point. Whenever. Who cares?
Episode 4 comes soon. We're actually gonna do some streams, aren't we? Come on.
Yeah, we are. We've got some plans for some streams.
Are we gonna do the stream that we said that we weren't gonna do because everyone does it? If you know what I mean.
I don't know. Maybe. It might happen. It might happen.
We might have to do it. We might have to do it. Come on.
We'll see. We have some plans. We might do some co-op games. We're going to do some games where we're both in the same room and have cam on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. See where that takes us.
See how the mood strikes. Right, everybody, signing off for now. Please do come back for episode 4. There's going to be more content. It's going to be getting better. We're going to be talking about more games. We're going to be gabbing.
Things will only get better. Well, maybe.
Yeah. And thanks for listening, if you are in fact listening.
Thanks, Mum. Super Gamin and Gab. Check us out on Twitter and catch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/SuperGaminGab. Twitter handle @SuperGaminGab. Yeah, do check us out. Tweet us if you enjoyed the show. Get in touch. We'd love to hear from you.
Peace out.
Take it easy, guys. Bye.